Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're going to be detectives. Our mission, to uncover all the hidden stories and secret meanings packed into, well, pretty much any text, using the powerful tools of textual analysis. So let's get right to it. We're looking at this painting, Tarquin and Lucretia, by the 16th century master, Titian. And this is going to be our central piece of evidence for the whole investigation. So, what's the first story you see? I mean, at first glance, it seems pretty straightforward, right? You see an armed, aggressive man overpowering a woman. The immediate conclusion we all jump to is that this is a painting about a really brutal assault, a rape. But here's the thing. As the critic Catherine Belsey explains, that really obvious story, it's just the beginning. Textual analysis teaches us that a first glance is never, ever enough. You know that gut reaction? The one that says, this is an assault? That tells us what it's about, the subject matter, but it doesn't tell us a thing about how the painting is working on us, how it's creating that meaning, or, and this is the important part, what other meanings might be lurking just beneath the surface. To find those, we have to start asking some better questions. Okay, so let's get our investigator's toolkit ready. The critic, Catherine Belsey, gives us this awesome set of key questions that can unlock pretty much any text, whether it's a painting like this, a novel, a film, you name it. So, these questions, they really push us beyond just describing what's in front of us. They force us to dig into its history, its context, and the way it kind of positions us, the audience. This is the big shift, right? We're going from just looking to doing actual research. And research, let's be clear what that means. It's not about just repeating what some dusty old book says. It's about bringing different ideas together in new ways. So you might take a feminist theory about power and connect it with this specific painting to create a totally fresh insight, something that just wasn't there before. All right, now to make those kinds of connections, we have to wrap our heads around a pretty radical idea about where meaning actually comes from. And, spoiler alert, it's not from the author or the artist. Yeah, the theorist Roland Barthes put it perfectly. He argued that a text is like a tapestry, woven from all these different ideas and cultural threads. And the one place where all those threads come together, it's not with the artist who made it. It's with the reader, or in our case, the viewer, us. I mean, just think about that for a second. That means you're not just a passive consumer of this painting. You are an active participant in creating its meaning. You are bringing all of your own knowledge and your own questions to the table. This whole idea of making meaning helps us understand how texts actually work. A thinker named Barthes and Saussure explained it really well. He said texts are just systems of signs. You've got the signifier, that's the image or the word itself, like, the little stick figures on a bathroom door. And then you have the signified, that's the concept it points to, the idea of men's or women's restrooms. And textual analysis? Well, it's basically the art of decoding these relationships. Okay, detective, time to go back to the scene of the crime. But now we're armed with these new concepts. We're going to stop looking at the big, obvious story and start looking for the small clues, the little details that might build a much more complex picture. So let's look again. We kind of just assumed Lucretia was asleep in her bed when she was attacked, but do the details really back that up? Let's zoom in. Okay, so what do we see? An earring, a pearl necklace, two pretty substantial bracelets, a wedding ring. The bed has fine, translucent linen, embroidered pillows. This is a real contradiction, isn't it? I mean, do you normally sleep wearing that much expensive jewelry? These aren't just random details. These are clues the artist planted for us. And these clues, they change everything. Suddenly, the jewelry and the fancy linens tell a story about wealth, about social status. The painting isn't just about a man attacking a woman anymore. It's also about class. It draws the stark contrast between Tarquin in his rich, powerful clothing and Lucretia, who's naked but still decorated. Her body is presented almost like a beautiful, valuable object to be owned. But what if we push our investigation even further? What happens if we focus on a detail that seems, well, just plain weird? This is where the analysis gets really interesting. Take a close look at her left arm, the one that's pushing against Tarquin's chest. The angle of her elbow is strange, right? It really doesn't look like she's pushing with any real force. So is that just an anatomical mistake by a master painter like Titian? Or is it another, much more subtle, clue? This is what Belsey calls a far-fetched interpretation. I mean, it seems to go completely against the obvious story. But what if that limp gesture isn't one of resistance at all? What if it represents a moment of transition, something more ambiguous, maybe even like a caress? Now, that doesn't mean she consented, not at all. It just complicates the simple story of pure resistance. And just like that, the painting can't be so easily defined. That one strange detail just cracks open a whole set of competing possibilities. Is it a clear case of rape and resistance? Or is it something murkier, involving consent under duress? Or maybe even a kind of bodily betrayal that complicates her whole story later on? The painting holds all of these possibilities in tension at the same time. So, after all this digging, all these clues and theories, what's the final verdict? What really happened in this painting? And this is maybe the biggest reveal of all. There is no final answer. The whole point of textual analysis isn't to solve the crime and close the case. The real goal is to show just how many different, totally valid stories can be told about the very same set of evidence. There's literally no end to it. It's like Barthes said, you, the reader, you are the space where all these different interpretations come to life. The power of this painting isn't in one single true meaning. It's in its incredible ability to generate endless questions and possibilities. And that, right there, is the ultimate power of textual analysis. It hands you the detective's magnifying glass, not so you can find one simple truth, but so you can see the rich, complex, and often contradictory stories that make up our world. So the question is no longer just, what does it mean, but a much more interesting one. What meanings can we make?